It was past 2 in the morning, and I was all alone in my room. The lights were out, but the glow from my phone screen felt almost blinding in the darkness. Outside, I could hear the wind howling, but it was soft, almost like it was whispering secrets to the night. Suddenly, my phone vibrated, cutting through the silence. I picked it up, my heart immediately starting to pound against my ribs. The silence in the room suddenly felt heavy, deafening. A message from an unknown number popped up on the screen. It read, "Why did you leave me?" My hands froze over the screen. A shiver traced its way down my spine. With trembling fingers, I typed back, "Who is this?" The reply came almost instantly. "You know who I am." My mind was racing. Who could this be? A prank? A wrong number? I quickly checked the contact details. That's when my blood ran cold. The number? It was my own number. How was that even possible? As I stared at the screen, completely bewildered, another message appeared. "Don't turn around." My heart hammered in my chest. I tried to tell myself it was just a sick joke, some kind of elaborate prank by a friend who'd managed to spoof my number. But a primal fear, a gut instinct, was screaming at me not to move, not to dare look behind me. The air in the room grew thick and heavy. My phone buzzed again, the vibration feeling like an electric shock in my hand. "I'm standing right behind you." My breathing became loud and ragged in the suffocating silence. The familiar shadows in my room seemed to shift and twist, taking on monstrous shapes. It felt like they were alive, watching me. I squeezed my eyes shut, terrified of what I might see if I opened them. I didn't dare look. I couldn't. After what felt like an eternity, I forced myself to move. I had to do something. I couldn't just sit here, paralyzed by fear. I grabbed the heavy-duty flashlight I keep by my bed. My hand was shaking so badly I could barely switch it on. The beam of light cut through the darkness, but it didn't feel comforting. It just made the shadows deeper, more menacing. My footsteps echoed softly on the wooden floor as I crept out of my room and into the empty house. The silence was absolute, broken only by my own frantic breathing and the thudding of my heart. Every corner, every doorway, felt like it was hiding something, like a pair of eyes was watching me from the darkness. I swept the flashlight beam across the living room, into the kitchen, down the hallway. I checked every room, my hand on the doorknob, hesitating for a second before pushing it open. Nothing. The house was empty. Just as a sliver of relief started to creep in, my phone vibrated again in my pocket. I pulled it out, my hands still trembling. The message was simple, yet it filled me with a fresh wave of terror. "You can't hide." A desperate panic seized me. I ran. I bolted back to my room, slamming the door shut and locking it behind me. As if that could keep whatever this was out, I leaned against the door, gasping for air. The glow from my phone screen was the only light in the room. And then it reflected off the large mirror on my closet door. And that's when I saw it. In the reflection, I could see myself standing there, phone in hand. But it wasn't me. Not really. The face in the mirror, my face, was smiling. A wide, unnatural, terrifying smile. But I wasn't smiling. My own face was a mask of pure terror. As I stared, frozen in horror, at this impossible image, another message appeared on my phone screen. "Smile. You're not alone anymore." I screamed and dropped the phone. It clattered to the floor, the screen going dark. The room was plunged into absolute blackness. The silence returned, heavier and more terrifying than before. It pressed in on me from all sides. Then, after a few seconds that stretched into an eternity, the screen lit up one last time. I could just make out the words from where I was huddled against the door. "Next time, I'll wait for you."
I didn't move.
I didn't even breathe. I just stared into the darkness, my mind completely shattered. I knew, with a certainty that chilled me to the bone, that this was far, far from over. This was just the beginning, and I had a feeling that the next time my phone rang, I wouldn't be so lucky. If you've ever had a creepy or unexplainable experience with technology, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories. Maybe it'll make me feel a little less alone in this. And if you want to see what happens next, Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching.